welcome everyone. We have with us today Dr. Roland Rios, and I want to share really quickly what's going on with this event. I was just mentioning we surveyed over 20, our whole audience got back 27,000 responses. Amazing response, a lot of feedback about what people wanted to talk about. We have a large number of sponsors throughout the 2 days. We'll be dropping in, 2-minute videos here and there. People join us to speak for a couple minutes. Talk about what they're doing, because what's happening out in the vendor industry right now is they're slammed with both purchase and requests to talk to them about everything. Everyone's had to move to digital. I believe one of the hardware vendors moved over 18 million machines into this K-12 market in under 3 months. So it's been really amazing. Take a break at any time. Keep the browser tab open. That's me, Leilani Cawthon. I'll be hosting throughout the day, as well as Doug Cawthon. We're in lockdown, California. Luckily, we're married, and we're in the same house, so it's easy to run these webinars from here. I have, during this hour, we'll have one person, Lacey Dash, speak from Promethean, and then also we'll show a video in a little bit. And we have with us today Dr. Roland Rios, Director of Technology from Fort Sam Houston ISD, Mr. Wasey Tobler. I hope I said your name right, Wasey. And then Miss Janine Freeman. It's awesome to have them with us. I'm gonna unmute Lacey Dash for a second and have her introduce to you who she is and what she's doing. Looks like you're self-muted, Lacey. Do you want to unmute and join us?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everybody. I'm Lacey Dash. I'm your South Texas education consultant for Promethean. So I'm basically the teacher's first contact for anything and everything you could possibly need.
Good.
Did you want me to go ahead and do the presentation or not?
Oh
yet?
yeah. Do you have something you want to share? Because we didn't have slides from you. Let me have you share, Lacey.
Okay.
I'm making you a presenter. There you go. This is going to happen to you in a second, Roland. Yeah.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. And this is my first time using this.
Yep, we can see your slides.
So fantastic. All right, so just a little bit. We are Promethean, and we are the technology solution for in-class, remote, and hybrid teaching. A little bit about me, so I'm not, coming out of left field. I am an education consultant now, but I was in the classroom for 10 years, and I have gotten lots of certifications over the summer with all the free time that we've had being locked down. So we'll go ahead and move on. So let's take a look at why Promethean is the solution. Promethean has actually been here for our schools, not just with mobile learning guides and virtual professional development, which we've done during COVID, but we've actually been here for 23 years. To the next one. All right, so the Elements panels and the interactive software make teaching and learning fun while still allowing for easy data collection and feedback for your students, which is super important, especially when they're not actually sitting with you in the classroom. We help you stay connected to your students no matter where they are. We'll actually come in and show the teachers how to set up in their classroom so that they can connect to the students both in the classroom and at home, and both at the same time. The panel itself is actually designed by experienced educators. It's practical, it's easy to navigate. You can actually see our unified menu and our apps locker right here. We also provide some amazing resources like our new direct access to the Google Play Store, which from a teaching standpoint is fantastic. And we also have the cloud drive, connection to Cloud Drive, so you can connect directly to your drive, either OneDrive or Google Drive or whatever your school uses, through a personalized profile. The Promethean software takes interactive learning to a new level with polling, activities, simulations, assessments, all that can be directly embedded into lessons or assigned to students to complete on their own time, so synchronous and asynchronous learning. Our brand new Learn Promethean professional development website was actually just voted the best professional development app or tool for 2020 from the Educator Awards. And teachers can take online courses, they can read articles, they can view over 300 short instructional videos. And then admin can also schedule in-person and virtual training.
Hey, Lacey, I think we're at time. I think we're at time.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will leave it at my last one right here. And do I need to turn this off for you guys?
Yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Roland. Roland, you ready? Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much,
Lacey. And we
ready
can
or not, here you come.
We know how we can see your slide right now, so everybody can get your email address. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah. Okay, Roland, you're the presenter now.
Show my screen.
I think you have to hit share and share the right screen.
I should know what I'm doing. I'm only a tech director, so.
Yeah. This happens.
What am I sharing though? Am I sharing the wrong screen?
You're sharing your GoToWebinar screen.
Yeah.
So go up to sharing.
Sharing.
Yeah.
There it is.
At the top.
Nope. And it wasn't it. Did I lose you guys now?
No, we can hear you.
So far, this is going great.
Yeah, it is.
Going great.
If you go to sharing, it allows you to pick a different thing. There you go. It's it.
All right. Fantastic. That didn't embarrass myself too much there.
Yeah.
My lovely team is looking at me saying, boss, get your act together. Hi, guys. I'm Dr. Roland Rios, and this is our presentation on our venture into hybrid learning. We titled this Building the Plane While Flying It, Designing a Hybrid Learning Environment in Times of Uncertainty. The only thing we know for certain right now is that nothing is certain. Things are changing on a daily basis. They change every second, and we are just trying to stay as far ahead of the curve as we possibly can. We're going to start with some introductions, and I'll have my team introduce themselves in alphabetical orders, starting with Ms. Freeman.
Hi, everyone. I am Janine Freeman, and I am the Elementary Digital Learning Coach at Fort Sam Houston ISD. So my role is strictly with the elementary school as far as instruction and professional development, but we do work together district-wide as a team as well. This is my 11th year in education and my 8th year here with the school district. And I also represent Area 20 on the TCA Board of Directors.
Super. Thanks, Janine. I'm Dr. Roland Rios, the Director of Technology here in the district. I've been at Fort Sam Houston ISD for 20 years. This is my 20th year. I came into the district as the principal at our secondary campus school, middle school, and high school. I served as a campus principal for 7 years and then came over to the dark side of technology. Absolutely love what I do here. I've got the best team in the world. I, too, am very involved in TCEA, having served as Area 20 Director, Convention Chair, past President, and now serve as the Records and Finance Chair. So we're happy to be with you. Wasey?
Hey, my name is Wasey Tobler. I am the Secondary Digital Learning Coach here at Fort Sam Houston ISD. Like Janine, this is also my 11th year in education. I spent 8 years in the classroom as a secondary ELA teacher. This is going in my 3rd year as a coach. I'm very blessed to be here, and I also am the Vice President of TechSig, which is one of the special interest groups for TCEA.
Right. Were we shamelessly plugging TCA there? That's okay. All right, let's get started here, guys. I want to talk about our title, Building the Plane While Flying It. I'm sure you've all heard that analogy before, and boy, do we find ourselves in that position now more than ever. Sometimes our teachers, our parents, our students are looking for long-term answers. What's going to happen when kids come back? What's going to happen when school starts? What's happening with sports? We don't really know day to day. We're doing the best we can with the information we have. So this picture just kind of illustrates that analogy of how hard it is to be doing what you've got to do while you're trying to manipulate all this stuff. My favorite in this illustration is the poor flight attendant over here. He just went to the booze closet. That's the best thing we can do right now. So that's kind of what we find ourselves in, the situation at hand through nobody's fault. But here we are. I like to put things in context because the majority of our presentation is going to be Janine talking about how we're handling things at the elementary level, Wasey talking about how we're handling things at the secondary level. But let's give you an overall context so you'll know, okay, they're this big and such and such, so you'll know why we can do some of the things we do. We are a very small public school district. We are in San Antonio, Texas. We have about 1,500 kids pre-K through 12, 2 campuses. Pre-K through 5 is at the Fort Sam Houston Elementary School, and then 6 through 12 is at Cole Middle School and High School. So we just have those 2 campuses. I'm blessed to have a digital coach at each of our campuses. Unique about us is that we are on a military installation. Even though we are a public school district, all the kids that come to us are military dependents because the gates, the boundaries of our attendance zone are the gates of the installation. We have a few kids that live off post, but their parents are connected to the military somehow. So 99% of our kids are military dependents. So on top of all this COVID and all the stuff that we're doing with virtual education, we have to deal with mobility and parents being deployed and wounded warriors. Very stressful time for us here. We are a very technology-rich district. I'm proud of the work that my team has put together. Our 2 technicians, our network engineer and our technician are top-notch. We've got a great backbone. We've got incredible technology for our teachers and kiddos. We are one-to-one iPads in pre-K and kinder and one-to-one Chromebooks 1st through 12th grade. Up until this year, 1st through 5th grade left their Chromebooks at school. We had them in lock and charge devices there. They did not take them home. 6th through 12th grade took them home. Now that we're in a hybrid situation, doing some distance learning, we're to take those lock and charge cases apart, to pull out all the chargers, and our 1st through 5th graders could check out Chromebooks. The majority of them did. So we're pretty much one-to-one at home across the district. We're proud to say we are a Google reference district. So if you're in the South Texas area and need to visit a school and kind of talk to us, get some feedback from us or from our students or teachers, we're more than happy to host you out here. And in fact, in order to maintain our Google reference district status, we have to have you come visit. So please come see us when all this COVID disappears. I like to throw this tidbit in there. We do have one famous graduate from Cole High School. A little guy named Shaquille O'Neal graduated from our high school. This is when we retired his jersey. If you look closely, you could see he could basically palm my face if he wanted to. The man is enormous, enormous. All right, let's talk about where we're at now in our virtual instruction. We started the year on August 17th, 100% virtual. All of our kids are at home. So we did a lot of prep work. Wasey will show you some pictures of that later, getting Chromebooks in the hands of the kids, and we have stayed virtual for the first 3 weeks. We are in our 3rd week right now. Okay, we're using Seesaw pre-K and 1st grade as our LMS. We're using Google Classroom 1st through 12th grade. You see the overlap there at 1st grade. 1st grade is going to start with Seesaw and then venture over to Google Classroom. They are kind enough to kind of be our transition grade level to get kids that were used to Seesaw, get them used to Google Classroom. Kids and their parents, of course. As far as video conferencing to deliver instruction, we let our teachers choose. We want them to use the tool that they are most comfortable with. Some use Meet, some use Zoom. We just wanted to make sure you communicate that with your students so they know where to go when they need to get there. And just like you guys, we're still working out the kinks. You know, some of these Chromebooks, they worked great last year when they were here on campus, not working quite so well now. They're a little bit older. Home Wi-Fi may not be as strong as what they're getting here. So we're having to deal with all of that. We're dealing with the teachers trying to figure out, how do I engage kids for an 80-minute class at the secondary campus? How do I get kids engaged when I'm doing asynchronous at the elementary school? So we're working out the kinks just like you guys are. Here's where we're headed. Next Monday, should be Tuesday. We're off on Monday for Labor Day. Next Tuesday, September 8th, we will welcome back academically at-risk students and children of staff. We wanted to start small, so we designated, we found about 25% of our students, and that's how we identified them. Our academically at risk, our special needs, ESL, and then children of our teachers, because they need to physically be back. Right now, they're allowed to work from home. Next Tuesday, everyone's back on campus. So we'll start the school year with about 25% of our population, about 300 or so kids, 350, I think. On October 13th, we welcome back anyone that wants to come back face-to-face. So all of our population can decide whether they want to come back face-to-face. They have to decide by grading period. So if they say they're coming back, they are committing to coming back for the remainder of the 9 weeks. At that point, We'll give them the opportunity to choose again. Hopefully, God willing, some sooner or later we'll say everybody's back face to face. This nightmare is over, and things are back to normal. But for now, they've got to choose by grading period how long they're going to stay with us. You know, as we start to talk about hybrid education, and I loved the title that the Learning Council put on this event, the logistics of it all. How are we going to make it happen? We started talking about hybrid, and the big question is it really hybrid in every sense of the word? And the answer is yes and no, kind of depending on where you look for a definition. I drew this analogy with a hybrid car. As I came up with the analogy, I told Wasey and Janine, I said, you know, hybrid cars either run by electricity or they run by gas. They don't run by both. I found out I was wrong. They do. At times, they run just on electricity. At times, they run just on gasoline. But a lot of the time, they run on both electricity and gasoline. And that's what gets them that economic mileage. And so when we look at our thoughts, if you look at what most people think of when they think of a hybrid model, this is kind of the traditional model because we've never seen anything like this before. I Googled just for the heck of it, what is hybrid education? What's a hybrid model of education? Looked at about 12 different sites and I found 12 different definitions. I mean, everybody kind of has a different definition, but I think traditionally what people think of when they think of hybrid is one group of students that sometimes gets face-to-face and sometimes gets virtual. So the teacher is delivering either face-to-face instruction with this group, or sometimes that group stays home and they deliver virtually. It's an either or. Where we're heading, and where you guys I'm sure are heading as well, is we just kind of came up with this term on our own. It's more of a dual delivery hybrid model. So the teacher has two different groups of students, some face-to-face and some virtual. The problem, you know, how do teachers do that? And how do they get the kids talking to each other from both of those different audiences and do all of that without killing themselves in the process, without overloading the kids? That's a tough question, and that's what we're here to answer. No, we don't have the answers. We're going to tell you how we're going to handle it, but I think that's why you've joined this wonderful Learning Council event, is to get some ideas, get some feedback from other schools. So with that, I've got one more slide. We did put in some district supports, and you're going to get a shortcut to this slide deck soon at the end of the presentation. The first thing we did is we need to wrap our heads around a theme. This if we ever wanted a theme for a school year, this was the year to do it. We have a new assistant superintendent. She's awesome. And so we kind of thought, what is it that we really want our students and our parents to understand? And we just kept coming back with, no matter how we do this, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's virtual, whether it's hybrid, whatever, there is no limit to what we can do together. And so we came up with limitless learning, and that's our theme. You see the logo there at the bottom corner of the slide deck. We came up with little stickers. Everyone's getting stickers for their devices. And we really wanted that to just drive how we approach this school year. We had the Limitless Learning launch, which was our back to school kind of, it was a online technology conference for our teachers, and not just technology, pedagogy, all that kind of stuff. It was not required. It was outside of contract. It was during the summer. We're a pretty small staff. So I told Wasey and Janine, I said, if we can get 30 teachers to attend this thing, we'll be in good shape and they'll help spread the word. We had 150 teachers, almost everyone signed up, and no one said they had to. They were all hungry for knowledge, hungry for feedback and ideas on how to make this happen. We had our device distribution before school, pre-K through 12. Wasey and Janine have put together two incredible resources. We have our Teach Anywhere website for teachers on how to do this effectively. We have our Learn Anywhere site for students and parents, especially on how they can help in the learning process. And then we just finished a series of workshops leading the way to limitless learning, where we did stuff with parents on Seesaw, on Google Classroom, on Blooms, and a variety of other tools. So we're doing the best we can to touch base with the community, to communicate with them, and to help our teachers. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to hand this over to Janine so she can talk about how we're doing this at the elementary level. Janine.
Dr. S, I'm going to ask you to actually exit present mode real quick and click present again. That slide is long gone. Thanks. All right, so like Dr. Rios said, I'm going to talk to you guys about what we are doing at the elementary school. For virtual learning up until this point, the first 3 weeks of school, teachers were doing a mix of asynchronous and synchronous learning. Some of our teams chose to only meet synchronously with students for morning meetings or some of that social emotional support, and then their instruction was actually given through recorded videos and then activities that they had the students doing throughout the day. As we get into like the 4th and 5th grade classes, the teachers were doing more live sessions online with their students, giving them some direct instruction, but also recording those for later viewing. So we've been doing a mix. As Dr. has explained as well, now we got to do both. We're going to have kids that are in the classroom face-to-face, and we're going to have kids at home learning virtually. And we have some teachers that have 6 kids returning and some that have 1 returning. So it's quite a bit of a mix in there as to what every classroom and every grade level is going to look like. One of the models that our teachers are looking at is this splitting or departmentalized model with teachers. So you can see in the image on this slide deck, you've got me, I'm teacher A, Dr. Rios is teacher B. And so the first half of the day, teacher A is teaching 2 subjects to both groups of students. So these are teacher A's and teacher B's students combined. I'm teaching them face-to-face at first in 2 subjects. And at that time, Dr. Rios is in his room by himself, and he's able to help support his virtual students, the ones that are online, whether he's creating videos or meeting with small groups or helping parents troubleshoot. Then in the afternoon, we switch. Both of our students are now face-to-face with Dr. Rios, and I have some time to work in my classroom creating those videos, working with my virtual students at home. So this is a good model for 2 teachers. Now, we have some teams where we have 6 teachers, and they have found it a little better to departmentalize themselves with 3 teachers at a time. So if you'll go to the next slide. This does look a tiny bit blurry, but I will talk you through it. I have 3 teachers listed here. Garza, Nichols, and Coyle are the teacher names. And you can see their schedule down on the left-hand side. What they have done is they're taking their 3 classes worth of face-to-face students, and they're going to split those students into 2 groups, group 1 and group 2. So first thing in the morning, Miss Garza has a virtual teach time. So that means she is going to be working with those small groups online, preparing videos for her virtual learning students asynchronously. At the same time, Mr. Nichols is going to be working face-to-face with group 1, direct teaching them in math. And then Miss Coyle is going to be working with group 2 face-to-face, using for science and social studies. So you can kind of see how that progresses through the day. It still gives them that time alone in their classroom to work on their virtual learning, but also gives them face-to-face time with their students where they can give that direct support to them. It also helps our teachers because they're only really working on one subject. These same teachers are the ones that have been preparing the virtual instruction these first 3 weeks. Ms. Garza has been working on ELAR. For all the virtual learning, Mr. Nichols has been working on math, and Ms. Coyle has been working on science and social studies videos. So it helps them in preparing materials that they're only having to prepare for 1 or 2 subjects rather than all of the subjects across the board. The work that the students are getting in person and at home is the same. It's just that those that are at school face-to-face are getting that face-to-face extra support. And you can see in the afternoon, the students have specials time where they will rotate around to specials. They have I&E, which is intervention and enrichment. So those students that need to be pulled out for dyslexia support or ESL support, they will be pulled out at that time. They have a little bit of time to play outside, and then study hall where they can continue any assignments that they need to be working on. So This looks really involved, and you're welcome to take a picture and copy it for anything that you want. But the teachers are really excited about this, and I think it's going to be a very efficient model that we're going to be using at the elementary school. Right now, for specials time, we have 2 grade levels of students attending specials at any given point. So specials going from 8:30 to 9:15 could be grades 1 and 3 attending specials. And our specials teachers have put together a very in-depth schedule for that as well, but I wanted to give you an idea of the fact that they are still going to specials. There's 30 minutes in between each specials rotation, which gives those teachers plenty of time to sanitize their space before the next group comes to see them. I did speak briefly about intervention and enrichment time, and so that is built in as well. Lunch is going to be spread out in the cafeteria, so students will be social distancing in the cafeteria. Since we have fewer numbers coming back in, there is space for them to be able to do that. And we are also using CurbSmart for parent pickup. It's an app that allows us, it assigns a number to every family, and so admin will stand outside and punch in the number of the family that's there. Our teacher of that family gets a notification, and we send those students outside. So we're not having students congregating in one specific location. They're waiting in their classroom until they are called out to their car at parent pickup. So professional development in PLC. In years past, our teachers at the elementary school actually had 2 specials times a day. So they had morning specials and afternoon specials. During one of those specials times, the teachers had their conference period, and the other specials time was used for PLC. Because of the modified schedule and our numbers, right now our grade levels are only going to specials 1 time a day, which leaves less time for PLC, and we're having fewer PLCs. So I have adjusted the way I've been giving professional development. Instead of going into PLCs, I am giving professional development through specific teacher requests. I'm putting out a lot of step-by-step tutorials and videos for our teachers to view. I'm having one-on-one meetings where I'm supporting them in what they're doing. I've been attending team meetings. We give webinars. And so I'm trying to hit them in every way that I can to help them with the things that they need without having a specified PLC time in order to give that. I wanted to state that previously, in working with the teachers in professional development and technology, I was doing something called an ITP, which is an individualized technology plan. And so teachers set their own technology goals for the school year. We work on that in PLC. I give them the resources to help them meet their goals, and I'm there to support them along the way. I've kind of put this officially on hold, and I wanted to put this in here to let you guys know it's okay to put things on hold right now. Those, beginning of year assessments that we always do like right away, or well, this is how I've done it every year, and so I need to stick with this plan that I always have. It's okay to put things to the side. We are in a different world. We're in a different teaching world. We are a different learning environment, and so you really want to think of what is most important, what is most valuable to teachers in the classroom and to our students right now, and don't be afraid to put those other objectives to the side for now, so that we can get done the things that are need to be prioritized right now. More so than ever, blanketed one-size-fits-all professional development is not working for our teachers. They have less time than they have ever had. They are spending days, nights, weekends, mornings, sleeping time. All of that is being spent on how they can deliver instruction to their students. So if I give a professional development on one thing and I blanket it to the entire campus, the teachers hate me, because those that are already using it, the ones that are already doing well with that, are going to find it a waste of time. There are also a group of teachers that may not be ready for what you're bringing to the table at that time. They just got comfortable. meeting with their kids live online, they don't need these 10 tools right now. And so more so than ever, I'm really trying to customize everything that I'm sending out and make it valuable to those teachers. I also put in here that it's important to survey your teachers. I sent out a survey after the first week of school and said, what else can we do for you? I linked the survey there so you can see what's on there. But again, trying to create that custom professional development for the teachers, making sure that I'm meeting their needs specifically. And the survey has really helped guide that for me. And finally, with elementary, obviously the instruction is the most important part of what we're doing right now and what we're getting out to our students. So after taking a survey of our teachers, more than anything else, they wanted to know, what does this actually look like? And it caused me to reflect and be like, oh yeah, I gave you instruction on all these amazing tools that can help you enhance the learning in your classroom, and you may have picked one and another teacher picked another one, and that's great. But what is this actually looking like? How does it all come together? How do we send this out to our students? And they wanted to see that. So I created a magazine. It's for great remote instruction at the elementary school. You can click on that link when you have access to the presentation to see the magazine. And it's basically tips on what great instruction looks like. And then under each tip, I've linked 2 examples from staff members at the elementary school of this great learning that's happening across our campus. And that has been extremely well received. Our teachers are super appreciative of knowing what this could look like and getting ideas from each other. And so that was definitely something on my list to get out, and I'm continuing to go through that survey of other things that I can offer to the teachers. So that's how things are looking at the elementary school. I know it's a lot of information, but hopefully it helps guide you guys and give you some ideas of things that you can continue to do.
Thanks, Janine. And you guys are really, really going to love this access to this great remote instruction magazine that Janine put together. It's fantastic tips and tricks, and like she said, specific examples of things our teachers are actually using. So with that, we're going to go from the elementary up to the secondary model. Wasey?
Yeah, so just as Janine did, I'm going to split this into basically 4 different parts. The schedule, and then, the technology behind that. We're going to look at some supports on the student side. At the high school level, we have bigger transitional moments of 5th graders coming in 6th grade, 8th graders going to 9th grade. We have exiting seniors and how we approach that, looking at some professional development and PLCs, and then the instructional side as well. Yes, please. So taking a look at the schedule, Janine showed you that great visual. This is what ours looks like, and this is our 100% remote learning schedule. And I want to highlight a couple of things from this. So, you're seeing this, that every day we're starting at 8:30 and our day ends at 3:50, but each day presents itself differently. And there are some built-in times that I think that the admin team at our Cole campus did a really good job of really considering and taking into consideration, not overdoing it. And, I think our tendency is to put our foot onto the gas and just go, 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 go. And so even though those, we're on a block schedule, and it looks like those chunks of time are a lot, you're looking at about 1 hour and 20 minutes for each class. It's how our teachers approach this, looking at the bigger picture, has been a benefit for the way that they're keeping morale up and keeping teachers from being burnt out. So, Dr. If we go to the next slide, one of the main parts that I want to point out is this homeroom time that we've got built in. So from 9:55 to 10:25 every single day, with the exception of Friday, which is a little bit shorter, we have homeroom. This is a time for our teachers to send out essential information to the students, and do social emotional support, running all of the many initiatives for counseling, setting up classes, all of those things. And then this year as well, we're doing some early diagnostic testing that is facilitated through that homeroom time. So getting everybody back in after that first period, setting the stage again for the rest of the afternoon. I think this has been a really good thing for the kids. The teachers really love it. It's helping them to make connections with students that are not in their actual classes, because those are mixed groups. They're all in the same grade level, but a teacher may not have those same students, and so that's been a really good thing. The second thing that I want to point out is the lunch schedule, and so you'll notice that from 11:50 to 12:30 every day we have lunch, and then from 12:30 to 1 o'clock we have tutoring and response intervention and club time. And so our admin team really made a point to try to maintain as much of a normal approach to the school day as possible, meaning that this was not instruction from 8:30 to 3:50 straight. This was still giving kids to build community, to go and seek out and get that one-on-one help that they need, attend office hours with the teacher, but then also get into clubs, do some things, just from the social emotional side. Hanging out, getting, student council going, and NHS, all of these things that, when we do come back, hopefully sooner rather than later, we already have some groundwork laid, and so we're not behind, and the kids get a chance to hang out and see their friends as well. And then the final thing is the actual end part of the day, and I'm showing you the teacher schedule because on the one that I just showed you was for parents and students, but you'll see that on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2:25 to 3:50, we have what's called a flex period, and that's when teachers will host office hours and students actually get to choose where they get to go. So if I need to go back to my science teacher and get a little bit of extra help or make up a lab, do a quiz that I missed or something like that, I have this good chunk of time to where I can take care of that, and we're not really pushing a lot of that instruction into the evening times, as far as stuff that could be done throughout the day. And then on Friday from 3:05 to 3:50, every single teacher on campus has conference. And so you're looking at kind of a shortened time, especially on Fridays. And I think it's easy to look at that and go, oh, sweet, we're going to get our weekend started a little bit early. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard teachers say already that that time has been very valuable to them, to reaching out to parents, following up kids that missed, making sure that they have everything they need as far as getting into that next week. And as we move into that hybrid model where we're pulling kids back in, I think teachers are really valuing that 45 minutes at the end of the day, to where, instead of typically teaching a class, they're able to take a step back and do all those administrative things that we never seem to have time to do. So that's on the schedule side. So let's talk a little bit about how our kids are operating within the schedule, and that the big piece for us is always the technology. As Dr. Rios mentioned, we are technology blessed, we are technology rich. We have Chromebooks from the elementary all the way up to the high school, and so this year we had 4 different distributions for the elementary school and the middle school and high school. We passed out devices, we prepped them, we have them checked out on a spreadsheet so we know that which kids have what devices. Our juniors and seniors, they got brand new Chromebooks this year, and then we scale those down by grade level. So it was hot and it was sweaty, but we got a chance to really kind of lean on the customer service side of things and meet the parents and students and everybody. We did a drive up and everybody was super excited. We got some members of the local communities on post to come and help us out. Some teachers were also passing out some of their instructional materials. We had welcome bags for the new kids of the district, and overwhelmingly, man, this was just a great day of community, and we had a lot of great responses. We actually had a parent come up, and when I walked up to the car, she just handed me an HEB bag, and I was a little confused, and she goes, you guys must be really hot and tired, so we went and we all got drinks for you. And so her and her daughter went to HEB and got us some drinks, some Gatorade, some water, and it's like, man, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like the appreciation was there. The love of our teachers and staff is definitely felt from the parents, and that's something where we definitely lean on, and we feel very blessed in that regard. On top of that, with that tech is the actual apps and things like that themselves. So, Dr. Rios, if you go to the next slide here, we have our ClassLink dashboard. And so, this is just a small fraction of the number of apps that we have. You can see on there, we are Bunsey, we use Blooms, we have Pear Deck and BrainPop and all of these great apps. And one of the things that Janine mentioned earlier is, taking this huge library and catalog of apps and really funneling it down to the essentials. and really getting teachers into that mindset of go with what you know. This is not the time to be learning a new app from scratch unless you really, really want to dedicate the time to it. Obviously, we're going to support you with that, but you've got a certain set of apps, Google Meet, Google Classroom is our LMS, things like that you're familiar with. Keep using those things. But having those extra apps in the background, making it a little bit more engaging for students online, that's obviously our focus. And that's something that Janine and I take a great amount of joy in is that instructional technology piece. So for the tech side, I mean, you can see that we have all of the resources that we need, including our incredible network staff that make it all happen for us. So let's move in a little bit more to the PD and PLCs. And like Dr. Rios said, we are in the middle of our third week. And Janine does a lot more with PLCs as well and professional development. She's doing her just-in-time training. I'm doing that, but I also have a great partnership with our tech-savvy PLC guru, Miss Christina Baker. And you can see here, this is a snapshot of her Bitmoji classroom that she uses. Everything that looks like a picture, like something that kind of just doesn't seem to quite blend in with the photo that she took of the media center here, are clickable links. Up at the top, we have our norms that we all collaborated on. All the teachers put in their input, and that's what we came up with. She's got some positive affirmations there on the posters. The little animal cracker container is a little brain break things with fun websites and games that she has linked. The one to the right of that with our curriculum map is our curriculum mapping initiative that we're going through. And then on her computer screen, she's got the link to her Google Meet. So when you have somebody like this that's in PLCs and running PLCs every day, because we have different groups that rotate through that, I think that in a way it makes my job a lot easier, but it becomes this really cool symbiotic relationship where we can push teachers further in what they're doing. But then again, also a lot of things that we push from the tech side is reinforced and supported instructionally from the teaching and learning side. And then the big benefit to me is really the way that she conducts PLCs, and we have cross-curricular groups. So you can see on the bottom right, that's an example or a screenshot of one of our PLC groups running virtually. So from the top left, we have a 6th grade English teacher. To the right of that, a 6th grade math teacher. We have our grant director. We have one of our coaches, health and SPED support. We've got a paraprofessional in there. So we're not doing anything by department. The English department is scattered to different groups because their schedules are different. And so the comments and the commentary and the learning that we can do from each other has really just been fantastic. And I've worked in a few other districts before coming here, and honest and truly, nobody does it like this. And I think that the teachers really benefit from having that support network and having those critical conversations when we're faced with a lot of unknown situations like we have now. And so additionally, as we started the school year, we had some professional development that we ran from the district side, and then we kind of trickled that down to our individual campuses. So if you go to the next slide for us, Dr. Rios, we talked about a little bit at the beginning here. Normally we do Techapalooza, which is our big conference, our big tech conference, face-to-face. We have that. Yes.
Hey, Wasey, hold on a second. We're getting really bad feedback on your mic.
Oh.
Like every word is mutated in the middle. I don't know if it's your machine, but you're right next to Roland. Can you just throw him off his chair?
Sure.
Do that.
Let me turn this off real quick too.
Go throw Roland out.
He does that about twice a day, so it's nothing new. So, and I'm just embarrassed that in the picture I'm wearing the same shirt I have on right now. So this is awesome.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that, y'all. Oh, you know what? Let me mute my computer. Yeah, it should be good. Hit it one more time. Okay, sorry about that. So let me reorient myself there. So like we're saying, we did limitless learning.
Wasey, move the mic a little bit further away from your mouth. Good.
Like so?
Yeah, let's see if that works. Go ahead.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my fillings or something. I don't know. That's weird. Okay,
keep talking.
Okay. So this was 100% virtual, and like Dr. Rios said,
Wasey, it's the mic. It's your mic. Can you speak right into the computer and get rid of the headset?
Sure. Let me try that.
Yeah.
Cool. Didn't know I was going to be getting my exercise while I was
Way,
presenting. This
way
is good.
better, way better.
Way better?
Musical
Okay.
chairs. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay, sorry about that. So our limitless learning was a great opportunity for us to provide, that extra PD that is so essential on our apps. We rolled out Blooms at the district level this year, and so we got a chance to have a session on that. We had a lot of instructional things that were going on. And so basically what we were able to do is take that PD, and then at Cole, we were able to make it available to people on demand. So if we can go to that next slide. I don't have control on right here on this computer. Perfect. And so our back to school PD that we did at Cole ended up becoming this really, really, really cool opportunity for teachers to get timely on-demand support. And so we had sessions that were teacher-led, and we tried to really hone in on the practical and applicable side of ed tech. So we were having available resources that teachers could literally copy and paste and start making their own, and then lots and lots and lots of choice. And Janine really emphasized that as far as our role, and one size fits all PD in this situation is just not going to work. It is just not going to work. So providing teachers with choice and being able to give them that self-feedback of, okay, I'm really good with Google Classroom. I don't need to go to a 45-minute session on Google Classroom, but I would really like that extra support with Blooms, because that's just a new thing for us, and I really want to learn how to roll that out effectively. The teachers overwhelmingly respond to that. And so for social distancing purposes, we were able to set up across the campus, which actually kind of turned the whole district into this hub of learning. And it was there was such great energy at those first couple of days where a lot of us hadn't been back on campus in months. We hadn't seen each other, and so just building that community through our PD was a really special experience for our teachers, and it's really carried over into the year. One more, yeah. And then the last thing is being able to provide resources that will persist through our learning. So we took all of our limitless learning conference learnings, we made them available again to teachers. So if they went to it and they couldn't make the session they wanted, they can always circle back around to that. And then through some of the resources, we took all of our beginning of year PD and we turned it into a live journal, a digital notebook, and teachers recorded all their learning with that. And so that was something they were able to take away for their own classrooms as well. All right, next one. Finally, with the student supports, we had transitions with 6th graders. So we did some videos. Teachers were able to record themselves, introducing themselves. We did a big rollout to the 5th graders in the spring. And then if you go to the next slide for me, we were able to take a lot of that same format, and that's how we rolled out our 6th grade orientation. And a huge shout out to our admin, our assistant principal, Sandy Valise. She hosted with minimal support from our end, a Zoom where she had about 100 6th graders and their parents, and she went through the full gamut. I mean, if she was standing up in front of them in the cafeteria or in the gym, it was the same thing. And so they had time for Q&A, and she did a really great job with making those 6th graders feel welcome and making that transition from 5th grade to high school or to secondary really special for them. Okay, and so lastly, with the instructional side, we did start an initiative with curriculum mapping. As Janine mentioned, this is an important initiative for us, but this is one of those things where if it can be put on hold, and it's something where when you really get down to it, if it can wait just a little bit, I think that's something that maybe we might feel like we would have waited until the spring or later on, but the process has still been very beneficial for our students, and then our teachers rather. And then we also are a Schlechte district. This is new to me. I'm learning a lot through the last 2 years, but we focus on design qualities when we build our curriculum, and then making sure that we're using having a functioning knowledge of the levels of engagement and how we're using our curriculum to reach into that high attention, high commitment format. So, I mean, you can see that, just from the students themselves, there's a lot of differences between those elementary and secondary. But I absolutely love our team. Dr. Rios is an amazing boss. He's right there with us, working alongside of everybody else, and so being able to have all of these different things working together, we're building the plane while we're flying it, but I feel like we have a lot of structures in place that are helping our students and teachers to be successful.
All right, thanks, Wasey. Can you all hear me? I switched mics to a hardwired mic. Is it coming through? Check. Nope. Can you switch back here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Trying to go back to my headset mic. Am I coming through? Check, check, check. Mic check 1, 2.
I can hear you, Dr. S.
Okay, just making sure. All right. So closing thoughts here. This is a crazy time of year for all of us. No one's ever seen anything like this, nor did we ever expect it. When we first heard of COVID, we thought, it'll pass, and then before you know it, we closed in the spring, and then all of a sudden we were closed for another week, and then we're not coming back to school, and then we're not starting school. So there's some certain things that we need to bear in mind to get through this successfully. As one, we've got to be creative. We can't try to make this work the way it used to. We've got to be creative with what we're teaching, how we're teaching, who we're teaching it to, all of that kind of stuff. This just calls for really abstract thought and reaching outside the box. We got to be brave. We cannot be afraid to try new things, and if they fall flat on their face, we've learned something. We always tell the kids, FAIL stands for first attempt in learning, and we're going to continue to move that way. Part of that is building an environment where teachers and students feel free from adverse consequences. They know they're not going to get dinged. They know they're not going to be hit over the head if they try something and it doesn't work. That's how we get our best pedagogy, is by trying new things. We've got to be flexible. Yeah, we're going to start next Tuesday. Are we going to be open still on Wednesday? We don't know. We want to come bring kids back on October 13th. Is that going to happen? We don't know. So we are going to be as flexible as possible. Things are going to have to change. The teachers are going to have to move. We're going to move kids around, and you just got to go with the flow. We have a teacher at the elementary school. Her motto is Semper Gumby. And for those of you who remember who Gumby was, always flexible. Semper Gumby, always flexible. We have got to be patient. We've got to be patient with each other. We've got to be patient with our students, with our parents. In the spring goes kind of, hey, this is cool, this is new, and this is, we can get through this. And now parents are feeling the stress too. When we handed out Chromebooks at the elementary school, parent drove up and we said the name and grade of your child. He handed us a piece of paper, 5 kids at the elementary level. Luckily, he had them all typed out and what grade they were in. Can you imagine? 5 kids, all elementary, online, at home, virtually. Just be patient and know that if they raise concerns, it's just because they want things to succeed just like we do. So we're going to be patient. And finally, we've got to communicate, overly communicate. We are posting things anytime we have any changes. Next Tuesday, when the kids come back, we're actually changing the bell schedule at the high school that you just saw. So I'm about to send that out via email. We're putting it on Facebook. We're putting it on Twitter. We're sending it out through Blooms to make sure everybody gets it. We're going to do smoke signals, and then we're going to go out in the parking lot and do an interpretive dance. We're going to make sure that they get this, because communication is key. So we hope that we've given you a little something to take home with you. Maybe you can adopt some of these, put them into effect, and turn them into actionable items on your campuses. But I think we might have a little bit of time, Leilani, for any questions that might have come up. This shortened URL, fshisd.tech/hybrid plans, for plans as good as we can make the plans. That's the shortened URL for this slide deck here, with all the links included and everything. So that concludes our presentation.
That was an awesome presentation, and I'm just now in love with all 3 of you. Amazing. And you guys are really amazing. And I think that we haven't had any questions come in. I think people are probably dumbfounded, but what I want to ask is how did you deal with it? This is personal for everybody. This is hard. So or maybe it's not hard. Maybe it was like, yay.
Oh, no, it's hard. Make no mistake. The spring was very different. The spring, like I said earlier, it was still kind of new. It was novel. It was kind of cool. We kind of, when it happened, we're like, this is really good for us, because we've been telling these teachers about these tools till we're blue in the face. We've been wanting them to use video conferencing to do all this stuff, and now they have to. And I know it's kind of a greedy way to look at it, but we were kind of tickled that, wow, they understand that what we were telling them is true. But I tell you what, this is my 29th year in education. I have never, ever, ever been this tired at the beginning of a school year. I've never been this stressed. It's a good stress. I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, we are here for the parents. We're here for the kids. But right now, and we've just talked about instruction. That's all we focused on in this presentation. We got to figure out how we're going to live stream all of our sporting events. All of our board meetings have to be streamed. How are we going to do all of our faculty meetings? What are we doing for our morning announcements? All of the stuff that is kind of non-instructional, we still have to figure out how to make all that happen. How do we do clubs and activities? So there's just a lot on our plate. I don't think any three of us can even see our plate. It's so full right now, but
Yeah.
it's exciting, and I think that's the way we get through it, Leilani, is just to remember this is what we signed up for. This is what we wanted. We want people using these tools, and for every struggle we have, for every kid that's having internet connectivity, we hear the good stuff too. We get pats on the back. We get the mom bringing us cold drinks at distribution. We have the teachers giving us, "Are you guys doing okay?" We had a big bag of breakfast tacos delivered by one of our teachers last week. So it's got its own rewards, and we're supporting each other. And the way we support each other, we're like a family, and we support each other by making fun of each other and poking fun. And Janine thinks we pick out her more than anybody, but we do.
Well, this is really great. I have 2 more minutes, and then I need to show a 2-minute video before we go to our next speaker. So I need 2 minutes in this last 3 minutes. So
you got them.
54 seconds, Janine, who looks like Wasey right now, like the name over you. You guys like switch up.
Yeah, and she doesn't have a mic or headset. I don't know if she can hear. She can.
You can't hear. Okay, good. So Wasey, you go. What emotionally? How'd you like beef up your will to live through all this?
Well, like a week before all the COVID stuff hit, we had our second child. And so for me, being at home with the kids, we also have a three and a half year old. Being at home with the kids was amazing, and that's something that my wife just loved. And so getting that extra time, just even in between meetings, because it wasn't like I was able to hang out all day, but when your daughter runs up to you and you're at the computer and shows you the things she's working on and stuff, and you can give her a hug, or she can pop her head into a meeting and wave at people. Dr. Rios is not lying when he says we are a family here, and that's a mindset that I would encourage everybody to adopt, is just that understanding and that compassion and that grace, and so for me it was very difficult, but also having the kids there was truly a blessing.
That's so awesome. So awesome. Okay, good. Well, like I said, I'm going to go to a video now. You guys hang on though, because if you stay for my talk on hybrid logistics, I'm going to show you that what you've just talked about addressing, how it's being addressed nationally and what's coming, like how things are going to mutate in the tech industry, because there's a lot of back end work going on all across the nation that we've been tracking with. So hang on, but thank you guys all so very much. You need a break right now, that's fine, but leave your browser window open in case you want to come back, okay?
We will. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being with us. We're really appreciative. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Steve Schmidt, and I am the account executive at Hoonuit for the great state of Texas. At Hoonuit, we provide a comprehensive data analytics solution that provides rich, meaningful insights. Spring Branch and Keller are just a few of our clients in Texas that are using our platform to establish a data-driven culture. Our industry-leading data model allows districts to load all of your disparate data, from your SIS to assessments, LMS, spreadsheets, surveys, even HR and financial data, into a single system for a true holistic and longitudinal view of the district. Now, Hoonuit isn't just for administrators. We also include role-based dashboards for teachers, as well as community engagement dashboards. And many of our districts in Texas are also aligning their dashboards to their district improvement plans and campus improvement plans, so everyone at the district can see how you're performing towards your annual goals in real time. identifying students that are at risk, and CCMR are just a few examples of our predictive modeling. The sooner these students are identified, the sooner your team can intervene to get these students back on track. As COVID disruptions have caused districts to adapt with blended learning and distance learning, Hoonuit will continue to evolve to help districts effectively manage change and strengthen their organization. In fact, here's a sneak peek at how we're helping districts with digital learning dashboards.
As digital learning becomes more prevalent, Hoonuit introduced rich digital learning analytics that produce actionable insights around digital learning access, engagement, and its impact to student outcomes.